Welcome to our show. Welcome to our show. Welcome to our little show. Something like that.
Something
anyway.
like that, yeah. Welcome.
It was no 12-Hour Avenue.
I mean, obviously, no.
No.
It's this lead single for 4 Minute Cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Unless you want it, Toby, in which case, the rights are up for sale.
They're quite expensive.
Yeah, they are quite expensive. Yeah.
Welcome to Monday No Movies.
Hello.
If you're wondering who the baby is in the top left-hand corner, that is Mr.
Me.
Duncan Strip, who's had a shave.
I know. I shaved it all off. Shall I tell you why I shaved it all off?
Why?
Please.
Because I wasn't going to. I was thinking of just getting rid of some of the big tough bits.
Yeah.
And then I had to get a police check form online.
Right.
For something I'm filling out, you need a police check to say you've not been, you've not been committing any crimes or you've not been accused of anything.
Oh well, that's
one of the things you had to send was a recent a new passport photo.
Oh.
And I thought, well, I can't send that because it's not going to be like that for much longer. Plus, I did look a bit like a criminal.
Right. What are you trying to say?
So I had to shave it all off, and I do feel a little bit naked.
Yeah, you look.
You look very different.
I prefer you with a beard, and you've ruined the beard club as well.
So yes, the beard is gone, and my head feels tiny.
Tiny head Duncan.
It's very odd.
Apologies for last week's show. A, not having any visuals at the beginning of it, and B, not working properly on the stream. My computer died just after the show.
Oh.
But I now have a new computer, which doesn't have a webcam, hilariously.
Well done.
And Toby still is blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look at the roots coming through. Show us, Toby.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They've come through quickly, haven't they?
Yeah. Slowly coming back, so. But I think I'll slowly go back brown, I think.
You think you've had your fun?
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
No
Come
more
on.
now, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're in a rock band, not a boy band. It's not a good look, is it?
No, you're meant to have long hair and,
I'm
in a rock band.
Really long
down to your ankles.
Not since the 1980s, surely.
Is it not the 80s anymore?
No.
Oh, okay.
It is not the 80s anymore. What do you mean anymore? You weren't born in the 80s.
I know.
So how have we been?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Slowly going mad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it might be all over soon. Boris
so.
wants everything up and running by July, so, we could be back in the studio in a couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, that's very true. That would be nice. Because I was going to say, we are joined, as always, with rockstar superstar Mr. Toby Stubbs.
Yes.
I'm a middle-aged woman, and Mr. Viral Twitter sensation Duncan Strip.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, Toby, my Twitter success yesterday.
Right. Well, I saw your tweet, but I must have seen when you just posted it.
Would you like a live update on how many?
I've got it here. I'll just tell you what it is. So, as you probably saw on
Hyde Park.
Yes, on Saturday there was a demonstration in Hyde Park, an anti-lockdown demonstration. Yeah. And there were pictures online of people with their signs written on pieces of cardboard. Yeah. One said, "Stay home, stay safe, slave lives." That's obviously a woman who doesn't understand what slaves were because, they weren't paid while they were staying at home. Another man who obviously started writing before he realised how much room he had in his sign.
That's always the problem.
Yeah. I am a free, I am not man, a number.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is presumably supposed to read, I am a free man, I am not a number. Another woman with, I do not consent to mass surveillance and tracking. And another one which says, aim your toxic syringe away from my baby and your godless 5G masts away from my baby's bedroom. I do not consent. So it was all a little bit... weird. Now I tweet a lot
I did actually see this tweet, but I saw it when you first posted it.
Yeah, I posted it sort of late on a Saturday night and went to bed. And I post a lot, don't I, Luke?
Yeah, you do.
And I don't get any interaction.
No.
I don't get anything from him. So far for that tweet, Toby, get this. 1,950 likes.
Wow.
411 retweets.
Wow.
And 226 comments.
Wow. Okay. That was a lot more than I was expecting.
But it is quite funny. Normally your tweets are quite ranty. that
Well, this was kind of ranty and
funny. Yeah, that's true.
The one thing, though, this
Wow.
didn't convert into is followers.
'Cause
I
that's
think
not
I've
how-
gained 3 followers from this.
Because that's
So
not how it works.
how does it work? How do you get followers?
So if, for example, let's take Toby Stubbs, who's over there. People, might like his music, so they would follow him.
Oh, come on, let's be real.
So they would follow
Yeah,
him
to be fair.
Yes.
to hear more from 12 Hour Avenue.
Yes.
The problem with your Twitter account is because you don't have a certain topic. Your topics sort of jump all over the place.
Yeah, but I see people who jump all over the place with 10 or 12,000 followers.
They're
I don't
just more
understand-
interesting than you, Duncan.
Or I suppose they could just be bought followers.
Oh, well, they could be, but I would imagine they're just more interesting than you are.
That's charming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, Twitter success.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's more than I've ever got. I think I got...
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. How many retweets have you got?
Retweets was 411, I think.
I will check and we'll pick it up at the end of the show, but I think I can't remember if I got to maybe it was 1,000 likes for my there was something going around about things from films that you then, so for example, like Carrie, if you're called Carrie, you're related to like the Carrie films. I'm
Yes.
Luke Skywalker, so people go around, I'm your father, and I tweeted that because there was a thing and I got lots on that, but I can't remember where it got up to. I will find out for you.
But I was impressed with that. That was good. I was happy with
That is
that.
good.
Well done.
Yes. Thank you. What else?
I don't know what else.
Don't know.
Don't
Really?
know. What's coming up
That's
from the
it.
show?
We have got some reviews of what we've been watching.
Yes.
The UK DVD Home Entertainment Top 10 and some film news.
Some film news.
There is still some film
There's
news.
some film news.
Just a smattering.
A smattering of film news.
Yeah, not much.
Oh, I found my tweet. So I tweeted, and I will I'll put both of these up on screen so people can see it. So I said, if I had £1 for every time someone has said this to me, I am your father, and Darth Vader in actually that film Empire Strikes Back, when he cuts Luke's hand off, I had 1,000 likes, but
Spoilers.
only 8 retweets.
Oh, you see, 411 retweets
Yeah.
for me. Thank you.
So, but I beat you on likes, so
What? How many likes did you get?
1,000.
I got 1,900.
Oh, okay. No, you definitely win then.
Oh, yeah, you're way behind.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, it's not a competition,
No,
but
no, no.
I have won.
Oh, while we're talking about social media,
Yeah.
we all use Instagram,
We do.
and I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but I've had a very annoying advert pop up by a band called 12 Hour Avenue.
Oh, God. Spam.
Delete
It's
it.
spam.
Oh,
Delete
it's
it.
just.
Just report it.
I mean, I know it's good, but I don't want to be told of how good Toby is every 5 minutes.
When did it come up? I don't think
I
I've
was
had
really
that.
surprised. I was like, it's actually an advert I care about.
Oh.
Yeah, it's. I think we did. We put a bit of money into. I think it was like people who like your page and their friends. So
Yeah.
it was obviously. Yeah.
Well, good on you.
So-
Get your music out there.
I've been following Toby's 30-day song challenge on
Oh,
Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't remember some, but there were some interesting
Oh yeah. No,
tracks.
the first one was pick a song that's got a colour in it, and I was like, well, hang on, a bit of self-plugging here, Toby. You could have done.
Red Flags.
We could have done Red Flags.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
What, you
saw
never
him-
thought of that?
I saw it and went,
What?
why hasn't he picked Red Flags? You did 2 as well for the first day as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did Purple Rain and Back in Black.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's very true.
You're welcome. You can do that later on.
I can't
Yeah,
remember
I'll
all of them, but there were some very obscure, some choices that I wouldn't have expected you to have picked, but I can't remember what they
I
were.
like all kinds of music. Though.
Anyway, should we do
Yeah,
a
no,
show,
you're
or should we just not bother
Yeah.
this week?
Let's not bother. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, no, let's do a show. Toby,
Okay.
kick it off.
It's Monday. No movies. Here we go.
It's 7 o'clock on Monday evening. Welcome to Monday Movies. Duncan Strip here with you, joined as usual by Toby Stubbs and Luke Davis. Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening.
How are we both?
Great, thanks.
good.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for
What's
asking.
happened to your face?
It's been
It
shaved.
has been,
Yes, it's been shaved. I look like a baby.
baby.
Someone was Skyping with me yesterday and said, I can't get used to it. I feel like I'm looking at you naked,
Yeah, it does have that effect.
which is very odd. Yeah, I don't like it either. Every morning I go to the mirror and go, who the hell's... Oh, it's me.
You need to learn how to trim.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Maybe there's somebody on YouTube who can help.
I'm sure there is.
When's your birthday?
August.
Right. Well, we'll get you a trimmer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We've got some here, but I don't think they've got the proper grading thing.
Okay.
But anyway.
I normally use the wrong one, and it's just like, oh, now it's one.
Anyway, welcome to Monday Movies, an hour of film-related chatter. On this week's show, we'll have the Home Entertainment Top 10 chart. We'll talk about what we've been watching, and we'll discuss any film news that we feel is relevant. Brilliant. We'll discuss any film news that I feel is relevant. That's better. Sorry, I've forgotten who I was. Has everybody had a good week, first of all?
Oh, thrilling.
Yeah. Same old.
It's been lovely weather.
It is.
Well, I mean, it was great. I mean, this week's going to be better.
This week's going to get up to 27 on Wednesday.
I know.
It's going to be hotter than the south of France and the Costa del Sol.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we can go out and enjoy it.
We can go
In
out
the garden,
slightly more,
yeah.
but I think by the time you've gone through the rules and regulations to work out where you're allowed to go and who you're allowed to go with, time will be up.
Just stay in your
So
garden.
if you think at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go out, then by the time 6 o'clock comes around, you're still reading the rules.
That's very true.
Yeah, it is. I was in Sainsbury's on Friday, and for the first time, the majority of people were wearing masks.
Oh, nice.
It did feel like I was at a Michael Jackson convention.
Did it?
Yeah, everybody. And a very strange array of masks as well.
Why?
Well, there's the standard blue medical mask. Then there's the homemade masks.
Yeah.
Then there's the comical masks.
Yeah.
A couple of people had these giant masks that look like they would use them in
I like
Chernobyl.
the paint one, like with the
Yes.
yeah. Well, if they're builders, then they've got them.
Gas
you know.
masks. And then a couple of people with the sock masks that they had the tutorial on.
Oh right, yeah.
Where you can make one from a sock very easily. Anyway, yeah. Oh, talking of that, just a tiny rant because on TV last night they went to the beach to interview people because
I know where you're going with it. I read your tweet and went, I just said that. Yeah.
They interviewed a woman on
So
I think
funny.
it was BBC News at 10. They interviewed a woman who was sat on the beach with her family, and she said she had travelled an hour and a half to get there. And she was very disappointed and disgusted at how many people were there and how busy it was. And I was like, but you drove 90 minutes to get there. How can you complain that it's busy?
I was
dear.
like, I can't believe you've just said that.
People's stupidity never ceases to amaze me.
No.
Anyway, shall we take a look at the Home Entertainment Top 10?
Oh yes, please.
I mean, it probably won't take long because it hasn't changed much. Got to be honest. It's very samey. We need to come up with something else.
Well, it's your show.
Okay, I tell you what. Next week we should do our favourite actors top 10. We'll start with Tobi.
I can say you already know most of mine.
Tobi, so you've got to come up with your favourite actor and your top 10 films of theirs for next week.
Okay, done.
Okay,
Done.
Brilliant.
Cool.
easy.
Done.
Easy.
Don't do Tom Hardy just to spite me.
Please do Tom Hardy.
Oh, and it can be TV. You can
okay.
include
Okay.
TV programmes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant.
This week's number 10, Le Mans 66.
It was actually out of the top 10 last week. It's gone back in. It's still very good. The story of Ford versus Ferrari during the Le Mans 66 race and how their rivalry was basically the big guy trying to squash the little guy.
This week's number 9, Tobi, Joker.
I thought you meant Tobi was number 9.
Tobi's at number
How did
9.
that
I am. Joker, incredible film, favourite film of last year for me. I thought it was very powerful. One of my favourite directors, Todd Phillips, who also did The Hangover. Thought the script was great, acting was amazing, cinematography brilliant. And overall, I just think it was a very powerful film, and it addressed themes such as mental health and things like that. So, yeah, amazing film. Definitely go and watch it.
On a little side note to that, talking about mental health, it's Mental Health Awareness Week. And if you're listening/watching this on Monday, it was the Mental Health Minute earlier, featuring such people as Dua Lipa and David Tennant. And it's available on our Facebook and Twitter.
Anyway, Joker's number 9, and it's also now, I think it's on special offer on the Sky Store to rent, so I might actually watch that again.
Cool.
I keep saying that, and I haven't, but I will.
This week's number 8, Downton Abbey.
Were you gonna do it in Italian, but you didn't know the number?
8. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, okay.
8.
Downton Abbey, the big screen version of the TV series. If you like the TV series, you'll love it. It's really good. And if you'll cry when the music wells up like I did because it's moving. It's good though.
It is, yeah. This week's number 7, Spies in Disguise.
Blue Sky Animation with Will Smith and Tom Holland. I haven't seen it, but it got very good reviews.
I mean, it's got Will Smith and Tom Holland in it.
Yeah, it's about a spy that gets turned into a pigeon.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
This week's number 6.
It's not unusual
to be turned into a
bit
pigeon.
Of singing. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
That would work, wouldn't it?
It's not unusual to be turned into a bird.
This week's number 6, Knives Out.
Toby's jealous now. He's thinking, "Wow, I thought I could sing."
I thought I was a singer in the 3.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Toby, I did breakfast this morning, and obviously the jukebox plays up until the breakfast comes on at 7:00. And do you know what the last track played on the jukebox up to the news at 7:00 was?
No.
Worth the Days.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
That's all right. You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't put it in there. It was in the jukebox.
It just flew in there. Oh,
yep.
Flew in there. I think both. I think Red Flags and Worth the Days are in there. I think.
Oh, thank you.
That's all right.
Seriously.
Bill will be giving to you later. Third attempt. Knives Out.
We should be paying him.
Shh. Shh. Don't tell him that.
Sorry.
Knives Out's at number 6.
Rian Johnson's follow-up after he made the best of the recent Star Wars films, The Last Jedi. It's a Agatha Christie-style whodunit film set in a big country house. Christopher Plummer, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson. It's got a fantastic cast. Very clever, very funny. Well worth watching.
Yeah, I really want to see this.
This is the one where
Toby,
Daniel...
I'm going to have to stop you from saying that.
We can have a little bleep every time that he says that.
How many weeks have we been doing this? 7. For 7 weeks after we've talked about Knives Out, you said, "Yeah, I really need to watch it," and you haven't. So please don't say it anymore because we know you're just saying it for effect.
Toby, please say it because it annoys him. This week's number 5, and we have a clip of it this week. Here is The Gentleman. Go on.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant you actually had a clip of it. Oh, I see. You want me to do it's? I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I don't know whether I should. But it's this is. I was going to say Joel somebody there.
Joel Dommett?
Joel Ritchie. Who's Joel Ritchie?
Is he a person?
It is Guy Ritchie's new film. It's back to his Snatch, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. If you want to know what it's like, it's basically 2 hours of people going, "Oh, mate, you got to go. Where's my drugs? Oh, yeah, marijuana. Hit me, hit him, kill him. Oh, yeah." And
that was a clip from The Gentleman.
Kind of like that for 2 hours. I mean, it's got a great cast, and they're obviously enjoying themselves, but it's just not very good.
Awkward. This week's...
It's not awkward because he's not listening. Guy Ritchie doesn't listen.
You don't know. He might be listening.
Okay.
This week's...
If he did listen, he would have offered me a job in his new film by now, because obviously with that acting talent.
Yeah. Number 4 this week is Jumanji 2.
Which is a great film. It's a follow-on from the first one.
Which is a great film.
Which is also a great film. And it's, a lot of fun. There's a lot of action, a lot of comedy. Great family film and very emotional towards the end.
Spoilers.
It's hardly a spoiler to say it's emotional, is it really?
Well, I know now to get emotional at the end.
Yeah, but you don't know which bit.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know which bit. You don't know. You don't know if it's the bit where they all die at the end, or you don't.
Wait, hang on. What? Spoilers.
No, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's got Danny Glover and Danny DeVito in it as the old pair, which makes it slightly different from the first one. Yeah, it's very, very good.
I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, because you liked the first one, didn't you?
I loved the first one. It was really good.
It took you 3 years to watch it,
exactly.
But when you did, you liked it.
2023. We'll be reviewing it.
Yeah, in 2023, you'll be reviewing Jumanji 2 and Toby will be reviewing The Gentleman.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Knives Out.
That's the one he wants. If you're going to do a joke, Duncan, do it properly.
Whoa. Comedy tips from Mr. Luke Davis.
Hello. I've been listening to Colin. This week's number 3, Frozen 2.
Let it go. It's not as good as the first one. It's not terrible. It's a perfectly nice family film. It's just not quite as good as the first one. But it is now, I think, is it available on Disney Plus now?
It's available on Disney Plus.
It's available on Disney Plus now, so make your mind up. Make your own mind up, sorry.
Making your mind
Making
up.
your mind up.
This week's number 2, Jojo Rabbit.
Which is brilliant.
Oh,
came
wait.
out like...
No, Frozen 2 isn't on. Sorry, I got confused. Frozen 2's not out till July.
All right. Oh, really?
Unless you're in America where it's out now.
In the middle of summer, they're
That's
releasing
right.
Frozen
Yeah.
2. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Jojo Rabbit number 2. This is Taika Waititi's new film. He made Hunt for the Wilder People and Thor Ragnarok. His next film will be Thor. Is it Love and Thunder
Love
or Blood
and Thunder? Yeah.
Love and Thunder.
In about 5 years.
And he's also just signed up to make a new Star Wars film.
That will
which
be good.
Be very interesting. Yes. Yeah. But this is the story of a small boy in Hitler's youth who has an imaginary friend who just happens to be Hitler. Scarlett Johansson is his mother. Also stars Sam Rockwell. It's very funny. It's very moving. It will make you cry. It will make you laugh. It's quite difficult to make something funny about Hitler and the war, but we'll be talking in what we've been watching. We'll talk about something else that's kind of made a comic book series about Nazis and the war. But this works really well, I think. I saw it last November before it came out here, and I think I saw this and Parasite on the same day.
Oh, okay.
And I said they're two of my favourite films of the year, and they stayed that way.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah,
you should watch it.
I do want to watch it. Yeah,
and it is very, very good.
And finally, this week's number 1, it's Star Wars, not Empire Strikes Back, but The Rise of Skywalker.
Which is all right.
I mean,
it's okay.
I watched the ending. I think we mentioned this last week. I watched the ending, and it just annoys me that Rey and Kylo kiss at the end. I knew it was coming, and I'm just there going, don't kiss, don't, because it just takes you out of the moment, because that doesn't really happen in Star Wars, really.
What, people don't kiss?
Not really. Not as dramatically as that. Because there was like a big look into your eyes. I'm looking into your eyes. Oh, I'm making it really obvious that we're going to they've kissed. Whereas normally it's just like, a quick embrace before Han Solo gets turned into carbonite.
Oh, spoilers for Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, that is Empire Strikes Back as well. Actually,
yes.
It's that scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd lost the plot well before it got to that, so I didn't care about the kiss.
Well, I can't remember the rest of it because I haven't watched it all yet.
I found it. I've only seen it once, and that was last year. I found it a little bit tiresome and a little bit same old, and I was looking at my watch an awful lot. I keep saying I'm going to watch it again, and we probably will this week.
Stop saying that you're going to watch it again.
I know. Well, it's on Disney Plus now. My other half, who's Australian.
What?
Yeah, I know. Amazing.
Didn't know that.
Nor did I. Just this week I found that. He wants to watch it, so we will watch it this week. And I'm pretty sure my opinion of it isn't going to change. I
will watch it in full again this week as well.
Yeah, I might watch Last Jedi again before I watch it.
I won't promise on that. I'm looking forward to. I think the problem with there's two problems with these three films is that it wasn't. I do think that if they had the same director throughout all three films, that would have helped. And because they were trying to do so much fan service on the last one, they were trying to tie up 9 films. 9 films. I think, and the script for I can't remember who was meant to be doing it. Before JJ, but his script.
What, this one?
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
It was Colin Trevorrow.
Thank you. His script and plan, and I think that some people have sort of done mock-ups of it, would have probably been a lot better than JJ. It was just too fan servicey.
Yeah, and that's the plus point and the minus point, I suppose, because
it worked really well in Force Awakens because it was the first one back.
Yeah, it was fan servicey. It was tying up all the loose ends, so it had to, and it just wanted to be. It tried to be all things to all people, and for me, it didn't work. But for obviously, I know nothing because the die-hard Star Wars fans prefer this to The Last Jedi. So what do I know?
I think if someone's done because when Rey right at the end, spoilers, hears all the voices of past Jedis.
I do.
Someone's done a version of that when you actually see them behind her. And I think if they had done that, that would have worked. If you're going to do it fan service, go over the top with it. Like,
But then you'd have had people shouting, "It's behind you!"
Ha ha. But that would have. I think that would have worked really well. What do I know? What do I know?
Well, very little. I think we've realised that over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll reserve judgment. I will watch it again, but it wasn't my favourite.
No.
Toby, have we changed your opinion yet, or are you still like
I mean, again, I've only seen Last Jedi once and Rise of Skywalker once, and I'm going to stick to my guns. And the Rise of Skywalker wasn't amazing, but I preferred it to The Last Jedi. So.
Okay. You're entitled to your opinion, obviously.
I'm looking forward to the new films because it's not going to be Skywalker related.
No, so the Taika Waititi one won't be Skywalker related. It's going to be a spin-off into some other part of the universe.
There's a load of canon. They've got enough stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So, good. Okay, that is the top 10 UK box office. So next week we won't be doing the box office top 10. Sorry, the home entertainment top 10, unless something amazing is in there. But I think the only change will be 1917 will be number one.
Right, okay.
I think that'll be the only change. Instead, we are going to do Toby's top 10 of his favourite actor.
Toby's top 10.
Which you have to think about, Toby.
I know.
And I know when you're going to give this some thought. It will be about 6:30 next Monday. Is when you'll give this some thought. Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be back with what we've been watching. Welcome back to Monday Movies. We're not live this week.
What?
I know.
Why would you ruin the magic?
Well, because all the people that want to contact us can't. But please, if you've seen anything during the week, you can still email us.
Yeah.
mondaymovies@wycombesound.org.uk, or you can how else can they do it?
Well, if you're watching this,
facebook.com/Wycombe Sound, Wixo Monday Movies.
If you're watching this on the Monday Movies page, you can comment on that side,
or you can comment.
I don't know what side it'll be on, but yeah.
Let us know what you've been watching. Let us know if you agree with our reviews. If you don't agree, keep your opinions to yourself.
No, tell us.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Is that fair enough?
No, if you've got comments, let us know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So now it's time for
what we've been watching.
So I don't know. I found some moments quite hard to watch at times.
You mean the violence?
Not so much the violence, the kind of sexual parts, shall I say?
Oh, hello.
But no, I really did enjoy it. And it is just something. It's just superhero. The typical superhero story flips completely on its head.
Yeah. No,
so if you want something a bit different, definitely go and watch this.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I loved it. Can't wait for the second season. Don't know why it took so long to watch it, to be honest. The poster image they use on Amazon Prime just wasn't very inspiring.
Remind me, how does the poster look?
It's kind of
I'm trying to think if it's the one that I've...
Grey graffiti with a man with lights coming out of his eyes.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't very inspiring. So I just put the first one on and then couldn't stop watching. Thought it's great. Loved it. As
Take That once said, it only takes a miracle.
No, they said it only takes a minute, girl.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, that's true. Comedy.
Yeah.
Very quickly, talk about The Eddie, which is the new film from TV series from the director Damien Chazelle, which is on Netflix now. Briefly, because I only watched one episode and I found it interminably boring and self-indulgent. It's about a jazz club in Paris, and I presume a story will start at some point, but after the first episode where nothing happened and it was just, you know how jazz is just twiddly little bits that don't really go anywhere. That's what this was like, and I just thought it's strange. It's written by Jack Thorne, who wrote the TV version of His Dark Materials, and he wrote the Harry Potter stage play. He's done loads and loads of TV, but I just found it interminably boring.
Oh.
So sorry about that, but that's The Eddie, which is on Netflix. Fine. Okay. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
And I didn't like it.
Won't be watching that.
No, unless you're an aficionado of jazz,
I can't say I am.
In which case you might like it. Otherwise, I really don't think anyone's going to like it. What else have I been watching? Also on Amazon Prime, I've been watching Picard. Now, I'm not a Star Trek fan.
No,
never was a
you're
Star
not.
Trek fan. I did like the Discovery series, which was on Netflix.
That was very good.
Last year.
Yeah.
That was very good. I was convinced to watch this by my other half because he used to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, and obviously that's where Jean-Luc Picard comes from. We're halfway through, and I've got to say, really enjoying it.
I mean,
it's good.
to be fair, they've done very well with the Star Trek franchise on I don't. It's not a Netflix original, is it? It's
this isn't on Netflix. This is on Amazon Prime.
Oh yes, Picard was, but
Yes.
both the production values of both
Yes.
are very good.
Yes, it's very enjoyable. I mean, obviously, I'm not getting out as much out of it as some people because there are returning characters from Next Generation, and I don't know any of them, so a lot of the references are probably lost on me. But it's a very enjoyable story so far. We're halfway through. There was one terrible 10-minute section in the last episode where Jean-Luc Picard has to pretend to be a Frenchman with a beret on, which was embarrassingly bad.
That's
But apart from that, I'm really enjoying it. It's good.
Good.
So that's another thing that I didn't expect to watch, but I really liked.
These are good things.
These are good things, aren't they? Anything else new? Yes, Hunters. Now, this is also on Amazon Prime. This is another one I've put off watching for quite some time, and now I'm ploughing through it at a rate of knots. I'm halfway through this. This is the new series starring Al Pacino. It's set in the 1970s New York, and it's about a group of Jewish vigilantes who have discovered that Nazis are amongst them in New York and trying to set up the Fourth Reich.
Right.
And a young boy played by Logan Lerman joins them after his grandmother, who was one of their team, is murdered. And it's about them trying to weed out the Nazis in New York with flashbacks to Auschwitz. And that's what's upset some people, making a entertainment show, as it were, that has flashbacks to Auschwitz and the war, and it's about Nazi war criminals. But again, this is another one. It's like The Boys. It's not based on a comic book, but it's filmed in a comic book style. It's ultra violent. It's really well acted. It's very funny, which I suppose could be off-putting for some people, but it's really good. I'm 4 episodes in and absolutely loving it. I think it's absolutely great. The actings are all really good. It's got a very certain visual style set in the 70s, and it has a comic book look about it, even though it's not a comic book film. But yeah, it's really good.
Cool.
Again, as long as you don't mind gory violence.
Yeah, not one for me then.
No, I mean none of the violence in The Boys or Hunters is anything like the violence in Gangs of London, which is on Sky Atlantic, which I'm still watching. Yeah, because the violence in that is like nothing you've ever seen on TV before. It's just incredibly intense,
brutal.
Yes, brutal. Really brutal. Every episode seems to have one set piece where they went all out on the blood and the gore.
Right.
So yeah, But Hunters, all episodes are available on Amazon Prime now.
It sounded like an advert then.
It kind of is.
It's like Sony all over again.
Well, do you know what? Review shows kind of are adverts.
That is
aren't
true.
They, really? I mean, to be honest, radio shows playing music are basically adverts for the music.
Never thought about it like that.
I always think that's odd when the BBC say, when they have a cookery show and they have to cover up the name on the tin of soup.
Yeah.
Because it's advertising. I thought, well, every time you play a record on the radio or review a film or a TV show, you're advertising.
Yeah.
So it's a bit odd.
Maybe that is, yes, never thought about that.
Well, there's something to think about.
I will think about it right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised you hadn't thought about that after doing 3 years of film and TV. So there we go.
Ha ha ha.
I thought I'd get that in before you did.
Thank you.
The last thing I've been watching...
Cross off your bingo cards.
Yeah. I've just finished the second season. It's on Netflix. It's called Dead to Me. It stars Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini as two friends. Well, they're not friends. Christina Applegate's husband is killed in a hit-and-run accident, and it turns out Linda Cardellini's character, her husband, is the one that was driving the car. She feels guilty and she befriends her and they become best friends. So she eventually finds out who she is. It's a very twisty turning.
This just sounds like the plot of Civil War.
What civil? Oh, what?
Captain America Civil War.
That didn't involve a car crash, did
Yes, it did. Bucky killed
Okay.
Iron Man's parents, and then they
Imagine
start
this
fighting.
as Civil War with women.
Right, okay.
They're half-hour episodes. I think it's 10 episodes a season. It's very bingeable. It's very funny. The second season has just dropped onto Netflix, which is funnier than the first season. But the two lead performances are so good. I'm just going to keep watching. Because especially Christina Applegate, and I forgot that she was the child in Married with Children back in the day, which you probably don't remember, sitcom back in the 1980s.
No.
She was the daughter. But her performance in this is absolutely brilliant.
Her name sounds familiar.
This was number 1 on Netflix, I think I saw.
Unsurprisingly, you should try it. It's very bingeable.
The other thing on... Again, it's a TV series. The other thing I need to try is Normal People.
Oh yeah, everyone has been talking about
I know, everyone's banging on about that, and every time I see a clip of it, I think, do I really want to watch this?
My other half, Amy, has, I think, watched all of it.
My friend started watching it at 9 o'clock one night and watched all 12 episodes in one night.
Yes, it is Dead to Me is in the top 10 of Netflix. Yes, there is. If you maybe have children at home, don't watch it with them.
A lot of sexy, rumpy-pumpy, isn't there?
Very
I've
lots.
Heard that.
Yeah, more than you would normally have.
And I keep saying I'm going to download it because everyone I know says you've got to watch it. But every time I see a clip of it...
I'm the same.
I was like, really? It just looks like Sunday night BBC drama that's not up my alley.
I don't know how much they can actually show.
Well, I'm not going to be watching it for the sex, Luke.
No, I know, but there's other stuff in it.
Yes.
Yeah, but so
mostly sex.
I don't know in the trailer how much they can... Because it's just them sitting at a table, isn't it?
No, I don't mean the trailer. I've seen clips on review shows, and every clip I've seen, I'm like, it just looks a bit dull. But...
Every day's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and if your other half says it's good, then, you know, I definitely won't watch it. No, I will. I will definitely watch it. Yeah, and that's all episodes are available on the iPlayer. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to say. What we've been watching. That's what I've been watching this week. Hopefully, you two will watch something next week.
Hang on, I've got a 5-week.
No, that's not how it works. Just because you watch 5 things, just because you watch 5 things in 1 week doesn't mean you can skip the next 3 weeks. That's not how it works.
I've had computer problems this week.
You've had what?
Computer problems.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll kind of let you off then, shall we?
Thank you. I have watched something, and as I said, we'll talk about that in the extras because it's not.
Why have we got to look? Why have it got to be an extras?
Because it's not.
It's not porn, is it?
No, it's not. It's
Just checking.
It's not really film related. It's an old program that people it's gone a bit like you, Duncan, this week has gone viral.
Yeah. I have gone viral. Yeah. And not in a COVID kind of way. Just to be sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we've been watching. New digital releases out this week. Well, there's only one really worth talking about, which actually comes out on the 22nd, which is
Friday.
A date for your diary for this one.
Is it the 19th? Oh, Cats. Right.
Is released on Friday.
Do you know why they're doing it on a Friday?
No.
I bet the album comes out on Friday as well, because it's New Music Friday. So I bet they're releasing the film and the music on Friday.
Okay. Maybe.
The album's not been out yet then?
I don't think the soundtrack's out.
Okay.
I remember they used to release music on a Monday.
Oh, they release it whenever they want to now.
Yeah.
When Duncan was younger, it was probably on when was it, a Sunday?
I don't remember when new music was released.
Yeah.
So I think it was a Monday.
Yeah,
I do vaguely remember being Monday for quite a while.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, they just release it whenever they want to now.
Yeah. Anyway, Cats is the big screen version of the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, directed by Tom Hooper, starring the likes of Judi Dench, Ian McKellen, Rebel Wilson, James Corden.
That film that got 1 star on Rotten Tomatoes and 2 on IMDb.
You may have read bad reviews about it. You may have seen it slated online, but, don't believe the reviews. Watch it for yourself, and you will know that they were all absolutely correct. It is an absolutely bonkers film. Makes no sense. The special effects aren't that great. It's just incomprehensible how it ever got made and released.
The soundtrack is out, so I don't know why they're recording it on Friday.
Oh, well, there we go. So that's out on Friday as a digital release. Will either of you be watching Cats?
God, no.
Probably
Really?
not, no.
Will your other half be watching Cats, though? Because your other half, Luke, is a musical aficionado.
She is indeed. She said she wanted to watch it, but I think that got sort of removed.
I think the best way to watch it is
Drunk?
10 o'clock at night, have a few drinks, and then watch it, and it might make a little bit more sense.
I think if it appeared on Disney Plus or Netflix or Amazon, and you're already subscribed to one of those, then I might watch it, but I'm not paying for it.
Well, if you want to see a free version, there is one available for one more day, I think, online on Andrew Lloyd Webber's.
No, it's gone.
Oh, is that gone?
Only up until Sunday evening. But that was his last one as well.
That was the original London stage recording with Elaine Page.
What features this
Memory.
song? That one?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So they're the new digital releases. Still to come, we've got our film news and a quick roundup of what's out today on DVD.
Ooh.
Hi guys, it's Tobi. Welcome back to Monday Movies. Thanks for tuning in, streaming or listening. I'm going to pass you back on to Duncan.
Your call is on hold. Please wait
very
while
much
Duncan
for
picks
that
up.
Professional link, Toby. Well done. Welcome back. Monday Movies, final part. No talking to Colin this week because we're not live.
I can tell you what, if you're listening to this live, would you like to know what's coming up on Colin's show?
Yes, please.
Please.
Ignore me while I freeze if you're watching this. Coming up on Mr. Colin Besley's show this very evening. From 8, actor Jonathan Kidd, who's been in Dad's Army, also was in, I'm guessing, the Brian Connolly show, as well as voicing characters from the latest David Walliams audiobooks. Will be joining Colin Besley from 8 o'clock this evening.
Well done,
Sounds
Colin.
good.
It'll be good. It'll be good because Colin's always good.
And if you're watching this on demand, listen again.
Right, that made no sense at all, but okay. Right, so, that's Colin Chatsworth. He's up after the news at 8 o'clock. There are 4 new films released on DVD and Blu-ray this week. We'll very quickly go through these. 1917.
I think you mean the 1975.
No, I mean 1917, which me and Toby have seen, and now Luke will say...
I'm going to see it.
There we go, I knew it. But you can now, because you can rent it.
How much is it, though? Is it
It'll
not?
be $5.49.
Oh, I might be able to afford that.
Okay, so it's out now.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
it
is worth it.
It is well worth it, but make sure you're watching it on the biggest screen possible.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think the rest of my family would like to also watch
With
it. So.
speakers or headphones.
Okay, well that won't happen. We don't have speakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh dear. What are you gonna? There's no point then. Don't bother. Toby, it's your favourite film of the year, is it not?
It is. It's my favourite film of the year so far, although I don't know how many other films are going to come out this year. So, no, it's an absolutely incredible story, incredible film, incredible cinematography, incredible acting, incredible script. Yeah, you know what? It is.
Yeah. I was picking up on that.
It's honestly, I think what I was lucky to do was I managed to kind of dodge even the trailer and clips and anything, so that when I did go into it, I literally was going into it blind and just saw everything for the first time, didn't have any expectations, didn't see any clips, so I knew what was coming, and I think that really helped why I liked it so much. But it is my favourite film of the year, and it is a very, very, very good film, so I highly recommend that one.
It is very good. I highly recommend it too. It's a brilliant film, well worth watching. It will lose a little bit on the small screen, but not much, I don't think. It will still be good. And if you're buying the DVD or Blu-ray, it'll be very interesting to see the behind-the-scenes
I can buy a Blu-ray.
You can buy a Blu-ray. There you go.
There you go.
Give me my first Blu-ray.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Brilliant.
Also out today, Bombshell. That's the drama starring Nicole Kidman about the Fox News scandal.
Not the film I was thinking of. Yep, carry on.
What were you thinking of?
Can't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's the Fox News scandal, sexual abuse scandal that came out last year. It won an Oscar for hair and makeup. It's very good. If you've seen The Loudest Voice on Sky Atlantic, which was an 8-part drama, covered exactly the same thing in a lot more detail, obviously, because it was over 8 hours. That starred Russell Crowe as, I've forgotten his name, the head of Fox News. But anyway, it starred Russell Crowe. This one has John Lithgow in the same role. It's still good and entertaining. But if you want a sort of more in-depth version of events, then The Loudest Voice on TV is obviously a lot better.
Yeah.
The Shining gets a special edition on Blu-ray this week. That's all worth watching, because please tell me you have both watched The Shining.
Obviously.
Years and years ago, but I have seen
Good. So, yeah, that's out today, so that's well worth watching. And Force 10 from Navarone is out. This is a war film from 1978.
Wow.
Set during World War II. Several oddly assorted military experts are teamed in a mission to raid and destroy a bridge vital to enemy strategy. Force 10 from Navarone. It's used to be on TV all the time. It was a staple of sort of Sunday afternoon TV. And Luke, 5 points if you can tell me what connects Force 10 from Navarone and Star Wars. 1978.
I would like to phone a friend, please. I'd like to phone Toby Stubbs.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay.
Toby,
the question.
The question was, what does that film relate to Star Wars?
Force 10 from Navarone and Star Wars.
You have 30 seconds. Good luck. This is for £1 million.
Don't know. Maybe one of the same actors is in it. I have no idea.
Would you like to pick one of them?
I know Carrie Fisher.
No. Harrison Ford.
Yes, it is Harrison Ford. And the funny thing is, you look at the poster for Force 10 from Navarone, and you see the trailer, and you think, God, that's such an old film, because it just looks so old, and yet it was made the year after Star Wars. So yeah. There we go. But that's out today on special edition Blu-ray and DVD. Anyway, that's what's out on DVD this week. Shall we have some film news?
Yes, please. Let's have some film news. I see what you mean about the poster. Yes, it looks very old.
Thank you. Film news. Edgar Wright's new film has been put back till 2021.
There's a surprise.
It's going to be called Last Night in Soho. He had said he was definitely going to release it towards the end of this year, September, October time, but now he's succumbed, and it's going to be moved to 2021 with no date.
Oh.
What a shame.
It is, but
what a shame.
But he's not the only one. We're all in this. To quote High School Musical, we're all in this together.
Is that a High School Musical song?
Yep.
Okay, good. Would you like to give us a few bars?
Nope.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that because of rights reasons?
Yeah. I would be singing it so well that we wouldn't be able to.
Okay. So Last Night in Soho joins virtually every other film this year, and it's going to be coming out next year. Although Christopher Nolan is still saying that Tenet will be released the first week of July in cinemas.
What's he going to do if nothing's opened?
I don't know. Cinemas have started opening in America already.
Okay, so America can watch it.
So whether out, and July is the time, according to Mr. Johnson, that cinemas will be allowed to open. With social distancing, which means if you're sitting in a seat, say you're sitting in the seat front row on the end, you'd have to have 3 seats between you, and 3 seats behind you. I imagine would have to be empty as well.
Well, that's how it is in the House of Commons. If you look, the front bench, you only can have where normally the Prime Minister sits, and then 2 back is where the next person sits.
Yeah. So it's going to be tough, but Mr. Nolan is convinced he can make the release date.
Yeah.
We'll see. Another remake is coming, this time a remake of Scarface, the classic gangster film. It's going to be directed by Luca Guadagnino, who directed the Oscar-winning Call Me By Your Name and the remake of Dario Argento's Suspiria. According to Variety, Guadagnino is the latest director installed on a project that goes back to 2011. There's 2 previous versions, 1932, which starred Paul Mooney and directed by Howard Hawks, and 1983 remake with Al Pacino that was directed by Brian De Palma. The new production has had a choppy history. Martin Bregman, who produced the De Palma film, was named as a producer with Harry Potter's David Yates lined up to direct. But that fell by the wayside. Then the Chilean director Pablo Larraín was going to direct it with a script from Homicide screenwriter Paul Anastasio, but then that went by the wayside as well. But now Guadagnino, who was Oscar nominated for Call Me By Your Name, is set to direct.
Nice.
Well, he did Suspiria and he made a pig's ear of that.
Oh. So not that nice.
So,
no.
Huh?
It could be good, could be bad. Nobody knows.
It's remaking. I still, sorry, Toby, we're keeping you up.
No, sorry.
I still think if people are going to remake films, they should remake films that weren't successful, like they did. Ocean's 11 was a pretty terrible 60s film.
Yeah.
George Clooney, Brad Pitt made it into a good film. I can't see the point of remaking Scarface, because the Al Pacino one is still a particularly good film.
Yeah.
So why bother?
Why bother?
But they're doing it anyway.
Would you like some film news? I have some film news.
Sorry, my computer does that. Sorry.
Some good news.
Sorry.
You're talking about films being pushed back, but the news is that in the UK and New Zealand, that green lights are starting to be lit up for production, including the Batman film, which was filming, I think, up in Glasgow before lockdown.
It was.
But they have had a small green light to...
a small green light?
A small green light, because obviously they're not...
Surely it's just a green light, or it's not a green light?
No, it's a tiny one at the minute. It's like the inside of the green light.
Right.
To start ramping production back up again, but obviously following social distancing rules, which I'm not sure how they're going to do things like Pinewood and things like that. I mean, if you're in like a big Glasgow street or something, you probably can work out.
It's still going to be hard making any kind of film or TV show with social distancing, because it means you can't have any actors fighting, having conversations
hugging,
close up,
kissing.
hugging. There can be nothing like that.
No.
So I just think it's very odd, unless everybody on the set has to have the test to prove that they haven't got the COVID-19. And then when everybody's on the set, they are kind of self-isolating together. So all staying in the same place until they finish the film. That's the only way I can think of that they can do it.
I mean, things like EastEnders, A, the set's quite small. B, all the production and back is in like a very small room. They're going to be like, Phil, can you go to the pub? It's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, at least she can shout, "Get out of my pub," and it would be, a valid reason. Too many, get out of my pub. Yeah, I just don't know how things are going to. I mean, the quarantining altogether to make a film would work for tiny budget independent films, but for something like the Batman, where you've got a crew of 200 or whatever, I don't see how it's possible to start filming again. But there we go. What do I know?
Reading from according to Deadline, it isn't to say the sets will resume production immediately. Both countries' governments, that's the UK and New Zealand, are requiring for new security, health and cleaning measures to be put in place to protect basically everyone that's working there. Those measures hasn't been seen yet. They've just they're starting to work with the Pinewoods and production companies and things like that. I you know what, I don't think it's just not going to work, really, because you think if you're doing sound and you're holding a boom, you've got then someone holding your back or like holding how are you going to do that?
Exactly. I don't know. Well, Luke, you're the one with 3 years of film and TV. You tell us.
I will write an email to the government.
Okay, good. I think it's going to be hard to start filming anything, but we'll see. More film news. Hip-hop musical Hamilton is to be released a year earlier than expected. And on Disney Plus rather than in cinemas. A filmed version of the multi-award-winning Broadway musical was originally scheduled for release in 2021, but Hamilton's star and creator Lin-Manuel Miranda has tweeted, "It's only a matter of time. Our Hamilton film this July the 3rd on Disney Plus." It's an adaptation of his first hit musical, In the Heights, has had its 2020 cinema release postponed until next year. The threat of the coronavirus has forced cinemas to close around the world and led to the postponement of film releases and for those in production to be put on ice. The Hamilton film was made in New York's Richard Rodgers Theatre over the course of 3 performances from 2016 and will give fans a chance to see the original Broadway cast, including Miranda himself, Christopher Jackson, Renee Elise Goldsberry and Daveed Diggs. If you don't know what it is, do you both know what Hamilton is?
As someone that goes out with a musical fan, then yes,
of course, yes, you do know. In case you don't, it tells the true story of the American Revolution and the invention of the U.S. banking system through the eyes of the ambitious first U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton. I've got to say, I like a musical. Hamilton, but this always has sounded like one of the most boring musicals I've ever heard of.
I have some problems with this. A, the storyline doesn't bother me at all. B,
doesn't grip me at all.
It's rapping for some of it. But saying that, very catchy. One of the songs called "You'll Be Back" is absolutely brilliant. It's funny and very fun, very brilliant. It's fantastic. So that is very good. It's interesting they brought it out early. I think A, because Disney Plus is running out of content. B, Broadway is in an absolute state. Because before lockdown, this year was the biggest year for things closing. Because contracts
and they've just decided to close Frozen 2 completely now.
Yeah,
that won't be coming back after the lockdown.
So that and what's it called? Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice never got its last play. Frozen 2 6, which is about Henry VIII's wives, which sounds crazy but is brilliant. That opening night was the night they locked down, so they were all in their costumes, just about to go on stage when they got told that it wouldn't be happening. And obviously they're quite strict in Broadway when it comes to money and things. So obviously none of those have been making money. So some of them might not make. 6 might not actually happen.
Well, no, and it's going to be really hard. It's going to be hard enough for cinemas to come back, but to be honest, when I go to the cinema, it's usually half empty, so it's not as bad. Theatres are always packed.
Yeah.
There's very rarely, to the big shows, there's very rarely any empty seats. And also the seats in theatres are smaller and
especially
tighter.
At the West End.
Yeah, I mean, you're crammed in like sardines. I think it's going to be a long time before anyone's going to want, even if they open, will people want to squeeze into these seats?
They actually had lots of things booked for this year that have been rebooked, but, are they going to be open? Well, do you want to go into London, That's the other thing.
Do you want to go on the train into London to sit in a crowded theatre with a load of other people coughing and spluttering?
Yeah.
Probably not.
It's I mean, the thing about the West End is it's a very tight community.
Yes.
So they've been doing lots of fundraising. They've had nightly shows of like actors from it. So there's the thing called the Theatre Cafe, which is London, and they've been hosting live streams pretty much every night with different actors sort of just doing. So I think the West End will be fine, but it comes to the point of, are people going to go and want to go and sit in a theatre? And I don't think they probably will.
No, exactly. But if you don't want to, or you can't, you can see Hamilton on Disney Plus from July the 3rd. So I will watch it.
Yeah.
But other people have been slightly concerned because there is a bit of effing and jeffing in
Quite
Hamilton.
a lot.
And there won't be on the Disney Plus version.
No.
So how they're going to edit that out...
They'll just mute it.
Which is going to sound very odd.
It will do, but that's Disney Plus's rules. They didn't want any effing and jeffing.
Very strange, but
If you are missing, if you're a fan of West End, there's a thing called Broadway HD, which is like the Netflix of West End shows. So they've got stuff on there.
Good. Okay. And is there a show on Wycombe Sound that people could find out about musicals they might like?
Amy's musical soundtrack, 7 to 8 on a Wednesday evening here on Wycombe Sound.
Excellent. Well done. So that's Hamilton coming to Disney Plus on July the 3rd. And finally, some good news while we're in lockdown. The BBC has done a deal with RKO Films, which means a huge raft of their films, 23 in total, are going on to the iPlayer. That includes the original King Kong.
Nice.
Bringing Up Baby, the wonderful Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant comedy. If you haven't seen that, it is absolutely brilliant. And the film that I think will be our homework for next week.
Other than Star Wars, yeah. Go on.
Other than Star Wars, yeah. Citizen Kane.
Oh, yes. Good film.
Okay.
Have you seen Citizen Kane, Toby?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's black and white and not in widescreen.
Okay.
So probably not. It is probably...
Have they not done a HD version of it? That'd be very surprising if they haven't.
I'd imagine it is in HD or big converted.
Yeah.
If people ask for my favourite films of all time, this is possibly what I would call the best film of all time ever made. It is brilliant. And it's available now on the BBC iPlayer and will be up there for over a year. But, Toby, you haven't got a year to watch it. You've got a week. I can tell you look thrilled. Absolutely thrilled.
I'm ready.
I think
I've heard a lot about this film, so...
We've mentioned it quite a lot last week. How the BBC have done extremely well with all their content, but the iPlayer is absolutely filled at the minute. They've uploaded a load of their old comedies. So Ab Fab in Full is now on iPlayer. Porridge is now up there as well, which is good. It's stuff for everything.
It's good,
everyone
and that's
even.
free for everybody. So
Yeah.
so we will talk about Citizen Kane next week. But if you want to watch it and join in the conversation, it is on iPlayer right now. That is it for this week. Thank you.
What?
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Toby.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Duncan.
We'll be back next week at the same time,
Will.
live, talking
Yes.
Citizen Kane and
Yeah.
Toby's favourite actors top 10.
Ooh.
Yes.
Very exciting. Podcast will be available later in the week from Radio Player, iTunes, Google Store, and Spotify.
It's probably up
Colin
now.
Besley is up next with Chatsworth, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
That was fun, wasn't it?
That was good. If
It
you're,
was.
If you're watching on the Facebook page, this will be going live in time. So we would have. It's 8 o'clock now. Hi.
Hi. Is it 8 o'clock?
It's 8 o'clock now.
Wow, it's still very light outside.
6 minutes past 2 on the same day for us. But at this point, we should say happy anniversary.
Yes, happy anniversary.
To to David and Michelle.
Hey, Luke.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Luke.
Duncan.
Guess how many years they have been married?
Oh, I think Toby said last week, but I can't remember.
35.
35. I was going to say 25, but 35. That's
35 years.
congratulations.
Yeah.
So what's the lockdown celebration plan, Toby?
Well, we're cooking them a meal, but when I say we, me and my sisters, but I don't actually know.
Oh, I thought you meant you and the staff.
We're cooking them a meal, but I don't actually know what I think we're doing prawns to start. I don't actually I don't know what we're doing.
Oh,
for
a proper
main.
3-course meal.
Yeah, well,
Lovely.
one of my sisters has got a cake, so that'll be
Nice.
the dessert. We're doing prawns to start, but I don't know what we're doing for the main. I need to find out.
Dear Gerard
But,
Cross Fire Service.
But yeah, no, it's
Oh,
yeah,
they're
it's
good.
crazy. It's crazy.
Very exciting.
It is
Can't
crazy.
wait. We'd like pictures of all 3
Yes,
courses,
please. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
And we'll talk about that on next
Yeah.
week's show.
Yeah, I want to see what your efforts look like.
Yeah.
Okay, but they've been together longer than they've been apart, which is crazy. So
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yes.
Mad.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
crazy.
How many years are you now, Duncan? You and your Australian other half?
He's Australian.
I know, it's crazy.
Good grief.
Oh, we
I
should
never-
bring that up because it wasn't actually in the podcast. I think the clip recorded. So if it did, here it is. If not, Toby didn't realise that your other half was Australian.
No,
And I guess I just assume everybody knows. I don't know why.
I mean, I think he has an Australian accent.
Yeah. I mean, he has a kangaroo with him everywhere he goes. I thought that was...
And one of those hats with corks on.
with the toggles on,
Yeah.
which you never see in Australia.
No.
Ever. Yeah. Okay.
No,
What were we talking about?
How many years have you been together?
Oh, married 11, together, I think it's 16.
Paul Clinton.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, Paul Clinton. No, I'm not going to argue with you.
No.
I feel just as sorry for him as you do.
We all do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed there's actually a group. I don't know if you've noticed that he's been sort of disappearing every so often. There's Clinton. There's a support group for him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Just gonna. You know what? Did you hear a weird noise from outside? No.
No.
My window shut.
No.
It wasn't me.
Oh, I thought you were doing a little comedy skit then.
No. No, I heard a noise and I had no
Oh,
idea
you were
what it
actually
was.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay, no. What else?
Well,
how?
I've got what I've been watching.
Oh yes, what have you been
Oh
watching?
yeah.
We were
Okay.
talking, and this is mainly going to be.
What Luke's been watching?
This is probably going to be more for Toby than you. But on,
Bye then.
So we're here. Bye bye. I mean, you can join in. You might have. I doubt you've seen them. But on Twitter, a lot of people are bored. You might know this. So people have been delving into the archives of children's TV programs of our generation, Toby, because a lot of those TV programs have been remade and are terrible now. So like Postman Pat, Fireman Sam, they're all in CG and are awful. But one program that was live on a Saturday and Sunday has resurfaced. And if they did this show now, they wouldn't get away with it. They wouldn't even be able to make this show. And that show is Dick and Dom in the Bungalow.
Yes.
Which
Yes,
ran
I do remember
from
that.
in the early 2000s.
Bogies.
But thank you. It got complaints weekly. I don't know how it lasted for 3 years. And as I said, if
Wow.
they tried to do it now, they wouldn't be able to, because it's got even stricter than it was then. But I remember every Saturday and Sunday morning, waking up and watching it. And it's even funnier now than it was when I watched it, because obviously there's jokes in there that just went over my head.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just it's hilarious.
So how much did you watch?
There's like full episodes on YouTube of like the very last series that someone's found on VHS.
Right.
And it's just absolute carnage. Duncan, if you haven't seen it,
Sorry, what?
welcome back. I take it you haven't heard of / seen.
I have heard, obviously, and I know who they are, obviously, but no, I've never seen.
I mean, the end of the show is throwing custard around.
Okay.
Well,
to be honest, that they used to do that on Tiswas.
Well, that is true. It was basically Tiswas for our generation.
Yeah.
And it was all filmed at Television Centre. And yeah, it was absolutely crazy. But I can remember watching it, all 5 series of it. Yeah, it was very, very good. And
So for the
what a
benefits,
throwback! What a throwback!
Yeah.
For the benefits of a film review program, you have been watching a kids' TV series from the 1990s, 2000s. Yeah.
From the 2000s, not the 1990s. Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes it all right then. doesn't it?
It's what we've been watching. You've watched TV programs.
Yeah. Current ones. No wonder you were too embarrassed to mention. 2 things.
Okay.
My sunflower seeds are popping through like nobody's business.
This is Duncan's garden as well.
Very exciting, the sunflower seeds. And the tomato plants that I planted from pips from inside a tomato I ate
From Sainsbury's.
are all coming up, 15 of them.
Wow.
Wow.
Are they bigger than last week?
They're about like that now.
Nice.
They're doing quite well. But who would have thought that you could just spit out the pips from a tomato and they would grow in the soil? Isn't nature a wonderful thing?
I mean, that's how it works.
But then why do people ever? But then why do people ever bother going to? Hang on, it's a film show. You didn't say that when he was showing you his bloody Victoria sponge. But then why do people go to the shop to buy tomato plants and seeds when you can just get them out of your tomato?
But how long have you been growing those tomatoes for?
3 weeks.
Right. Okay.
4 weeks.
So you would need to start like a production
but how
cycle.
long does it take when you buy the seeds in a packet?
I haven't grown tomatoes, but what I'm saying is...
Oh, quick to criticise, though.
But what you'd have to do is you'd have to start a production cycle so that you don't start them all at the same time, because then you're waiting 3 weeks for tomatoes.
Yeah, no, but why you're missing the point there slightly, Luke. I'm saying, why do people buy tomato seeds in a packet and spend money?
Oh, I see what you mean.
When they could just use the pips out of the tomatoes they're eating.
I don't think it works every time. I think you've been very lucky. I think you can find that pips have been like... depending on how old the tomatoes are and stuff like that. I think it depends. And
as we found out on Drive Time last week, Luke, there is Toby, do you know the difference between a seed and a pip?
No.
So why does an apple have pips but a tomato has seeds, even though they're the same thing really?
I don't know.
The pips are ones that you can spit out. So they're like bigger and they're spittable.
Okay.
There you go.
Seeds on a strawberry, you just eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have pips in an apple.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. And yet, in an avocado, you have a stone.
And in a plum?
Peach.
Peach, plum, one of the two.
Peach plum. It's a stone, isn't it? Peach stone. Yeah. Anyway, that's Gardening Monday for you.
Gardening World.
We'll have more of that next week. As my little fruit garden... No, it's not fruit, is it?
No.
Tomato. Oh, no, tomato is a fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomato is a fruit.
You should get some more fruit. Get an apple tree.
We've got a cherry tree and an apple tree, but they've been there for like 5 years and we've never seen a cherry or an apple.
Oh, well, maybe you need to
an olive tree as well, actually.
Well, you should go and replace the apple seed.
Well, it's a big tree. It's a big tree now.
Okay.
We just don't get any apples.
My nan's growing licorice.
Is she?
Yes.
How do you grow licorice?
I've no idea. It was a birthday present. We'll keep. It has to be in the fridge for 3 weeks. So I will update you next month because it doesn't come out at the end of the month.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, Toby, growing anything? Marijuana, I'd imagine you're a rock star.
No, not growing anything.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right then. Well, ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Right, thanks for doing this early, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Right,
enjoy dinner.
Happy
and please, we want
anniversary.
pictures of all 3 courses. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we want,
I will do.
And happy anniversary to David and Michelle.
This show is dedicated to them.
Hi to Shona. Hi to Kerry. Hi to Mark.
Hi, Mark.
And hi to Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hello.
And everyone else that's watching.
They're just not quite as important this week because it's not their anniversary.
No, exactly.
Oh, what is 35 years, by the way, Toby? What have you had to buy?
I don't know. Well,
Toby's just gone, oh, God, I've not brought anything.
No, like we've got loads of balloons and cakes and flowers and.
Yeah, but what is the 35th anniversary?
I don't know if it actually is.
Hang on, I'm Googling.
Yes, it will be something.
Jade or coral.
Jade
Jade or coral, yeah. I like jade as a gem. It's slightly greeny, yeah.
What's 40?
40 is ruby or...
it is ruby.
Ruby.
Oh, I like this. The traditional 40th anniversary gift is ruby. If you want a cheaper option, go for something red.
As long as it's ruby red.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, right. Well, bye. See you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.